Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we have a track by an act named Phantom Frost and TDBKey titled Tony. And if we switch over to here, it says on the screen, if you describe something as Tony, you mean it is stylish and sophisticated. So we're going to listen through this track from start till finish, and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go. I like the balance. I like the balance of the 808s, the backing vocals there, the filtering on that, the piano line.
Chicken heavy in the danger zone, nigga. But they hiding though. Keep that mask. No face, no case. 1G, TDB, hey. Tony Hawk, Tony Montana, how I'm grinding with that hammer. Tony Romo, how I make plays, but it feel like I do it better. Tony Stark, cause I'm with them hops. I stay flying any weather. Gotta keep it under pressure, or whenever, that's a standard. You get mainly manhandled, trying to mess around with my treasure. But the top notch bitches get the most, not the less. Phantom Frost, call me Tony, he'll call me whatever. But if she asks my name, Tony, what I'ma tell her? I got
Okay, got a catchy hook. You know, the drums are nicely sidechained to the to the bass parts there. You've got the piano continuing in that motif there. Catchy sort of hook melody. I mean, I'll get more of the story as we go through, but I'm enjoying the musical motif and accompaniment so far.
some nefarious plots, so they tryna indict me with various cops. Lots of precarious barrier block, but I'm aware, so I never co-op. Strange or danger, you scary or not. Wherever you step, better carry your Glock. Give them two scott for trying that courteous pop. Flipping the goofy, hilarious flop. Don't break your character, keep your composure together, keep calm when they get to acting up. Don't need words to back it up. All you need is the power, the force, and the stamina. Gaining momentum, let it stack, no slack. Just pull up, bitch, off of charisma. Don't need the denims, cause at the end of the night, she probably trying to get in them. Tony Hawk, Tony Montana, how I'm grinding with that hammer.
So, like, I like how we go through the verse section. The vocal performance is confident. You know, we've got someone here who knows how to rap. They're confident on the mic. They're polished in their performance there. I don't know if I would have liked more of an entrance into that hook line. I can tell that we've tried to mix and master this so there's nice and loud, and I'm happy with the studio production. At the same time, it just feels like it just goes into it. And might have been nice to have like a little sort of sub drop or like an additional 808 layer or something like that going into the hook, just to kind of give it a bit more oomph going into that chorus. I mean, the double tracking of the vocals indicates that we are in a hook section. It just would have been nice to have a little bit more oomph going into that, but it's fine. I like the little bits of follow, like the eagle and everything like that, and the police siren we had before. Not the less, Phantom Frost, call me Tony, he'll call me whatever. But if she asks my name, Tony, what I'ma tell her? You know, like we're familiar with how to get a rhythm going with that flow that works well with the rap stuff. But the kind of the cleaner sort of like the melodic part, the melodic rapping of this bit. You know, there's nice contrast between them. Might have even been nice to have like an additional sort of like melody layer over the top of the chorus to kind of help instantiate it further. But that's okay. We got a TDBKey here.
I wish that would my go in the stash and check all his goods. I don't need no mask, just throw on my hood. He talk like he dead, put his ass in the woods. Like, damn, this shit got me coughing. Green bean shoot his ass like I'm playing for Boston. I'm tired of chasing house, man. I'm getting so exhausted. I'm tired of shooting dots, man. I think that I lost. Like, what the fuck? I think I'm going crazy. Sip so much lean, but I ain't getting lazy. Smoking so much green, I be getting high lady. Nigga got mad cause I fucked this old lady. But I floated with the sparks, so I'm like Tom Brady. Got a white shooter and I call him Slim Shady. Plus he real shady. He'll like the house up, don't care about the baby. All he can say, this the way God made me. Shoot him in the face if a nigga try to play me. Nigga, I don't play. So fix your face and watch your tone, nigga. Watch what you say. We'll pull it to your home, send the shots at the K. Aiming at your dome and let the bitch spray. Catch your bro at the funeral. Put him in the grave and his hoe so typical. Why you call him Bay? And bro, I ain't kidding you. I can hit it in the day. My shooter go nuts, so I call him payday. And he real fucking crazy when he knows payday. Drop a bag on your head, man down Mayday. And he'll spin back like a fucking.
I mean, what I like about this bit, I am listening to the vocals and they're great. There is a constant kind of force of words coming at you. And I think that to be able to get all the different sort of like nuances with the vocals, I'd need to probably listen to this track a few times just to get all the words clearly. But to the credit of the people who, you know, like who did the sort of like production on this track and everything like that, to the credit of Phantom Frost and and TDBKey. What I like about this part is there's just no bass. It's literally just the piano parts and some of the synth bits, etc. It's a nice change of pace in the motif. It kind of lets you know we're about to fade out. And I like the bits of vocal modulation, the lower octaves as well. It helps them to stand out. It's cool, you know?
Bullets his ass, make him do the nay-nay. But I don't need a gun, all I need is my blade. Pull up in all black like a nigga named Blade. And walk a nigga down in my motherfucking shades.
Okay, and it was directed by Zay Henry. Video by Adam Harper. Okay. And this is my conclusion of this track by Phantom Frost and TDBKey titled Tony. What do I think this track is about? I think this track is about the people in this music video considering themselves to be Tony and how people interact with them. And like, I think a big part of the video is why I think videos are important for this type of music, is that a lot of the stuff, especially with the sophistication, is communicated via the visuals. You know, people are listening with their eyes. And, you know, see the Corvette and all the nice kind of, those close-ups on like the designer sunglasses and everything like that. It's inferred that these people are like successful, doing really, really well. And I think it's a really important part of this genre. And I think the big kind of sort of thing I got up from this video from like a kind of like a sort of a story perspective is that they're doing an us versus them kind of thing, where we are the people who are Tony and people, you know, front to us who think we're not Tony and will pull up with, they add like gunshot sounds, so like pull up, if they kind of sort of mess with them, then there's going to be like, you know, all sorts of crazy stuff going on, everything like that. Talking about getting with people's old ladies and stuff like that. I'm not trying to like bring it down to something more simple than it is. I'm not trying to remove any nuance. So I know there's more to the story, and this is why I mentioned earlier on that I probably need to do a few more listens to this to get the hang of it. But when you have a definition right at the start, you know, the indication there is, you know, that is what the track is about. And I think that that's absolutely fine. I think that the vocals were done very well. The rapping was nice and clear for the most part. There were a lot of words. They had similar vocal styles as well. You know, Phantom Frost and TDBKey. TDBKey was a little bit quicker, some parts. I liked the fact that Phantom Frost kind of took his time in the chorus sections. It was nice. I genuinely maybe am more of a form of the kind of older style, kind of old school kind of rap stuff where it's a bit slower and you can kind of get the words more clearly. But maybe that's just because I'm getting older. I don't mind when people go quick. It's just that, you know, it's impressive technically. Like, don't get me wrong, I think they're fantastic rappers and it's great that they can perform like that and that there's no stumbling or stuttering or anything like that. I just wish I understood the whole context in one listen. But that's okay. It's alright. I think that it's a popular contemporary style of doing things now, and it was still fascinating, and the chorus was catchy as well. And I kind of like the fact that we didn't need to do another chorus at the end. We just finished with TDBKey's part. It was dope, you know. We didn't feel insecure about allowing it to end like that. It was fine. Just had the piano motif kind of carrying us out. But yeah, the vocals were solid. The rhythm, the rhyming, and the kind of the cadence in the chorus was catchy, and it filled the purposes there. They communicated emotionally and appropriately for the style of what they were talking about there. There was a sense of sophistication to the performance, so that was fine. I think that the track at 2 minutes 48, it's the right length, you know, in that sweet spot between 2 and 4 minutes there, so no issues there whatsoever. The combination of the different piano parts and the little synth bits as well, like the kind of Euro, kind of like trance-ish kind of parts there, with the sort of the hip hop trappish kind of drums, and the 808 there on that low end kind of filling it up, and elements there, as well as the Foley sounds with like the bird, the eagle, and like the guns and the sirens and stuff like that. It was clever production. I think that it was cool to have those extra bits of sound and like recorded bits like the birds, for example, to kind of help make the lyrics more vivid, especially if there's specific things that you want the listener to really pay attention to. So that was clever. That was well done. I think that in regards to what we had going on with like the motif itself, it was fairly simple. The drums were supportive and the bass was working with those root notes well. And there was just arpeggios going on that right hand of the keyboard alongside the synths coming in occasionally, the kind of Reese-ish kind of thing going on with a wow, you know, it's fantastic. Like the accompaniment sounded great. I'm happy with how it went with the vocals, because we had more of a kind of a mono kind of, it wasn't as melodic with the vocals, so there was more coloration in the overall harmony and the accompaniment. So those contrasted well and made them stand out, and they had their own niche in the frequency spectrum, which was solid. And we had things come in and out, etc. Didn't just have all the instruments all the time. Like in the latter half of the song, again, we had the bass and drums kind of come out. We just had the mid to high elements. So that's cool. That's solid. I'm really, really, really happy with that overall. It's a good track. The studio recording, mixing and mastering, as well as basically commercial grade. The level of, like, the quality of the actual recordings themselves was top notch. And it wasn't just the vocals recorded well, they also had like effects chains of little bits, kind of like the lower octave kind of modulation on TDBKey's part, you know, like double tracking of the chorus as opposed to single tracking of the verse parts, which made them sound a bit bigger. And also like the other instrumental parts, like the drums, the bass, etc. sounded dope. That sounded really cool. I was really happy with how the different elements interlocked with one another. Nice side chaining of the bass and other elements by the drum kit. The pianos cadenced over top with the mid to high resonance due to the filtering of out of the lower range there, and the synths and other bits as well kind of like danced over top as well. It was beautiful. It was really nicely handled and well leveled. There were no weird resonant frequencies in the frequency spectrum, and it was nice and wide in the stereo field. And I think that, you know, when I listened to this track, it was loud. There was dynamic range, but I think there could have been more done to add more of an entrance to those choruses, to kind of give them a bit more oomph, you know, which is a shame, because I want to have a totally like 100%, because I think a lot of effort and a lot of love went into this track. It's just little subjective things, right? I don't think it's bad. Of course, it's a great track, but those are just little things I'm pointing out along the way. But it was nice and loud without pumping, and this is effectively my review of Phantom Frost and TDBKey with their track Tony. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please go check out their various social medias and their YouTube page. Stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I'll catch you in the next review. Spiderhands out.